Welcome back to Mira's Maze. It's Mira, and of course, I got my notes, I got my show, and we're gonna dive right into this review of Real Housewives of Potomac, honey, because the girls are back and they're giving already. Dare I say it, more than the Atlanta Housewives. But let me pump my brakes. Let me pump my brakes. It's still too early to tell, but when I tell y'all this first episode was already given, it got me excited. So we just gonna get right into it. So Ashley is about to pop. She's about 10 days away from giving birth, honey. She looks it, but she looks good. Ashley is cute. But she tells us some things that we just did not need to hear. I don't know about y'all, but I did not need to hear. I was not interested in hearing about her and her husband having had sex since she was about 5 months pregnant. I can't believe you've had sex with this man at all. That is already nauseating to me, let alone lay down to have one baby with him and now two. But I digress. That's none of my business. It really ain't. But we just don't want to hear about it. It just kind of makes my skin crawl to think about it. And I'm going to just move on because that's all that scene was given. And it was too much. So then Candace invites Gizelle over to get a tour of her new house because we never miss an opportunity to showboat, honey. And it's nice, Of course, Gizelle sprinkle a shade everywhere she goes. She leaves a little shade dust. Honey, when they got into that mama's room and she had a life-size cardboard cutout of her, I was like, nuts. That would be in the closet every time she was not present, honey. I'm not setting that up in my house. I'm not doing it. But anyway, we learned that, Candace is getting more of a feel for her bonus momness because the kids are virtually learning, which means they are home more often. And I'm just really wondering how that goes, like how it's going. Like we hear her account of how it's going, but I want to talk to those kids because if anything else, we know Miss Candace is very much selfish and about herself, honey. She takes any opportunity to make any situation about herself. She don't even want kids herself. So I just can't imagine how she is with that man's kids. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. So they get to sitting down and talking, and Giselle is still playing in our face. Like, about this relationship with her and her ex-husband, they still want us to believe that this was real and not just a storyline and not just for TV. I just don't believe it. She has all of this heat for Karen now, and honestly, I just think it's because Karen just put that ass on Front Street. And she was giving the shade. Like, she was hitting you with shit you couldn't come back from. That's why you're really bothered. She claims it was because, Karen has known her for so long and her kids for so long and it hurt her kids. So now she's out to hurt Karen. I just don't believe that. I just think, honey, Karen gave you a dose of your own medicine. And unlike some of these other women, Karen can keep up with that ass. So you met your match, Giselle. You met your match. But so while they're talking about her situation, because even Candace is confused. She's like, I get the quarantine was hard on us all, but when we're not in quarantine anymore and we don't have these same restrictions, like, you don't think y'all can work it out from then? And Giselle's just kind of like, no, we're just gonna it was never happening. So we see Ray and Karen are talking about their vow renewal, and she doesn't really want to call it that, so they're calling it so nice we had to do it twice, whatever. But she only wants like the people around them who genuinely care about their relationship. And so she's not inviting all of the girls. So obviously we know Gizelle is not getting an invite. And Ray's like, oh, but I still have hope for y'all. And Miss Karen is like, I don't. She does not see it for her and Gizelle rekindling their friendship. And they're both kind of on that same page because all Gizelle is talking about is how she can't wait till she sees Miss Karen again because she's laying it all out on the line. And Karen also says that Gizelle is redirecting her anger and misplacing it on her. And I can agree with that. Like I said, she met her match. She wasn't ready for that. She saw how she got dogged out last season and she just doesn't want that to repeat. So she's coming in guns blazing. So simultaneously, we see all of the women receiving Wendy's little invite to her new party, honey. She does a silhouette challenge style. Silhouette challenge style. And all of the women I seen it, I thought it was a cute idea. Actually, whenever that little trend was going around, you know, I'm not on TikTok, but I was still privy to the challenge. It was a real cute invite, honey. And of course, Ray thought so too, honey, because Ray was hot and bothered, honey. He said, where's his invite? Where can he get a copy? He wanted to see that thing on repeat. Ray is nasty. Like, I don't see how they do it. Like, Ray, honey, Michael, it just gives me creepy vibes sometimes. It's hard to watch, hard to digest. I mean, I digress. So then we get to Robin and Robin and Juan, honey, and they are back at it. Back at it. Still playing in our face. Still no wedding dates. Now they at least have the penny to blame it on, honey. But we know it's just not happening because it don't need to happen. Y'all need to stop. Y'all really need to stop. And while Juan is talking about he wants his baby girl, I want y'all to just stop playing in our face. That's all I want. Like, how many seasons do we gotta watch y'all pretend to get remarried? Pretend to be back in such a good place in y'all relationship, financially and everything. We just don't believe it. It's not adding up. So next, after their drawn out scene of why they're basically not getting married anymore at this moment because of the panic, we see everyone getting ready for the party. And, you know, Wendy's ready to showcase what she's ready to showcase. And the girls don't know it yet, but it's them titties. So Giselle arrives first. And of course, Miss Shady Boots, you know, she's greeted and everything. But she's wondering why Wendy's not the one to greet her. And she's nosy and looking around like, Giselle gonna be Giselle everywhere she goes. Like, you can't really be mad at her because it's just her. She's just messy. That's like being mad at the sky for being blue. You get what you get. She don't change up the recipe. It's the same every time. It's the same every season. By this point, I'm just used to it. So when Robin gets there, she starts showing around the table like, look at these names, because she got the little name plates out for where everyone's gonna sit. And she's noticing it's some unfamiliar names. She's like, who is this? Who is Miss Mia? Who is that? Who? So then we switch to Karen, and she's actually in the car with Mia. So we learn that Mia is a friend of her, honey. She's a businesswoman, and, you know, Karen's giving us her accolades and everything. We don't really care. We don't care. You know, we just know she's about to bring forth some drama, so we just ready to see what she's gonna give, but we don't really care about her personal stuff. So Giselle is in the house, and she's talking about how she's awaiting Miss Karen's apology because she feels that she's owed that. I don't know why she thought she was going to get it, but when the girls start to arrive, she is confused as to why Karen does not only not speak to her, but is not apologizing to her. And I'm like, Giselle, girl, sit down. Sit down. You know that woman wasn't about to come in with an apology for you. She don't have nothing for you. Just like you shouldn't have nothing for her, but you know how Giselle give it up. So the girls immediately get to filling Mia out. Like, they're asking her questions. They're shocked to learn that once again we got these women with these old ass men. Her husband is 38 years older than her, and she's 36 and he's 68, and they start doing the math, and the math is not really mathing, and they're like, how does that work? And come to find out, he's actually only 30 years older. It don't make no difference, really. It's still a large amount of an age gap, but the math just wasn't math, and then they had to call her out on that. So Wendy finally reveals that the party is for her to show out them titties. We got titties in the building. And so she says that she's had her boobs done and some tweaks, but she won't fully reveal the tweaks. And we're like, just tell us. You already told us you got your boobs done. You might as well just keep it real about everything. And Karen's like, I mean, I know she got something done to her face because when we was out for lunch, the face was facing in different ways than I was used to the face facing. And Miss Karen knows. She done been under the knife a couple times. She knows. We know. But Wendy's not revealing. So once they sit down, I guess Wendy took offense to Mia further questioning. So, what else have you had done in addition to your boobs? And they also did some flashbacks of Wendy's ass because, as we know, it was on flat last season, and she's a little covered up this episode, so we can't really tell what it's given. But the ladies are speculating that she also had something done to the derriere. So Wendy is taking offense because apparently the only thing she's planning on revealing is the boobs. She don't want them inquiring on nothing else. So she shoots Mia down. She's like, how about you? Because it looks like you've done a lot of work. What have you had done? And we might as well just call Miss Mia Botox Barbie, because honey, she says she gets her Botox every 4 weeks. She gets fillers, she gets lips, and she looks it because her face looks very much blown up, very much like she just needs to leave it alone, but doesn't seem to know how to do so. So she keeps messing with it. The surgery is surgerying. She's had her boobs done, she's had her ass done, she's had a tummy tuck, she's had every tuck. Then she even says, honey, she's had some work done to her clit. And the girls are like, what? And I'm like, what? Why? The surgery has got to stop. People are taking it way too far. Like, I don't understand why you have such a problem with the body that God gave you. Like, just let it go. You know, like, it's not even worth it to go under that knife. Like, but I digress. So the conversation ventures to Candace because, as we know, Candace got sick, and that's why she is absent tonight. And, you know, Robin is speculating, no, I don't think she's sick. But then she's like, but then I don't want to just say something. Then why'd you say something? Just leave it as she was sick. You had to say something, then say you don't want to say nothing. Okay. So Karen is just like, maybe they just need some time, but, you know, eventually she would hope that they could get back in a good place. And Wendy's like, you know, I hope that we can all just get back in a good place. And here's where things go left, because Giselle has been waiting on this moment. This is what she was waiting on. Honey, she says, we never gonna be back in a good place because I will never be cool with Karen again. And when I'm ready, I'm gonna start exposing her. I ain't gonna do it all at once. I'm gonna just drop a little here, drop a little there, but some exposing will get done. And I'm like, oh. And then Karen is like, well, if you want to talk about something, we're gonna talk about that fiery box. And then the ladies is like, oh, here we go, there it is. And she's like, fiery box? I have a watt box. That's what type of box I have. Ain't nothing fiery about it. And I'm like, So then Karen says, honey, we all know that box been worn up through, all up and through Hampton, honey. We know. So then Giselle was like, well, she's so worried about my box because her ding dong at home don't work. And so then Miss Kern comes back and says, well, at least my ding dong isn't for everyone, because your ding dong been all around the city. So then she says, at least it works. At least it works. It might be everywhere, up and through everybody, but it works. And this is where we leave off with the girls, with the back and forth and the bickering, honey. One thing about it, Miss Kern ain't gonna miss the opportunity to breed, and Giselle is not backing down this go around because she already got dogged out at the reunion. So she said, honey, I'm coming with it this time. I'm interested to see. Like I said, the girls are back. They are already giving, and I'm excited for the rest of this season. So y'all make sure y'all like and comment down below with y'all's opinions, what y'all thoughts of last night's episode, and of course subscribe, and I will see y'all next time.